Master, dinner is served. Igor, it's not that I don't appreciate the effort, but you know I prefer my meals uncooked. And how many times have I told you about using garlic? Yes, Master. Forgive me, Master. Please. Bite into Paradelphia. Thursday nights at 8, only on Toxic Radio. Paradelphia. Because what if it's all true?
Once every generation, there comes an event that alters how we perceive our world. That changes our expectations of what is possible. This is not really one of those events. But hey, Toxic Radio has a brand new studio, and that fucking rocks. So join us in celebrating our excellent new home. Toxic Radio. Awesomer than ever before. What? That is so a word.
Enjoying all that Toxic Radio has to offer? Well, make sure you like and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Be the first to find out about ticket giveaways, amazing guests, awesome contests, and Toxic Radio events. Just search Toxic Radio Live, all one word, and press that little button. Every time you do, someone here at Toxic Radio will get their wings. Yay! Well, not really. Aww. But we will get a warm, fuzzy feeling in our tummies. But then again, that just might be the beer. Anyway, like and follow us, and we will see you out there on the interwebs.
Welcome to Week 22, Wire2Wire. I'm your host, Gene Walzak. And to my right, I have the man, the myth, the legend, Scholastic, Shally, Uncle Shally.
Uncle Shally.
Bro, you got too many nicknames at this point.
Uncle.
To my left, I got Kent State's own, Cleveland's own, College Cottrell, rocking the Lionel Messi jersey. We got a huge show to you today. We're going to recap the UFC, best acting performance, Dak Prescott signing. We also have the conference tourney breakdown. We're going to do a lot of that. We have our third base list, and we're going to introduce our GOAT bracket. Before we do, you got to be kidding me. We got a lot to get into. I can't wait to talk about a lot of this stuff, but we have to start with UFC after a great UFC card. I think the undercard actually outperformed the main card. Let's start with Stylebender. That was the main fight. Let's let that be the open for the show. I, for one, got that fight wrong. Cottrell got it wrong. Let's start with the man that got it right. MMA Shally.
MMA Shally.
Just keep giving him nicknames.
I didn't think he was going to get... When I picked him to win, I was a little hesitant about it. I definitely thought he was going to be able to stand on his feet with him. I didn't think he was going to be overwhelmed there like a lot of people are when they fight Izzy. He was bigger, stronger. I knew he wasn't going to gas. I think Cottrell was talking about that. I didn't think that was going to be an issue either. The quickness was, I guess, the concern for me. And he proved that he could, sit there in the pocket and hit Izzy. Izzy looked real tentative. I think he had a really defensive game plan, and I think it hurt him. I thought John was just in his face the entire fight, and it's, that fight didn't, that hurt Izzy in a lot of ways. He's going to have to go back to 185. I do agree with what Daniel Cormier said last night when he was getting interviewed by ESPN. That mega super fight that a lot of people want to see with him and John Jones. There's no need to see that fight now. I have no interest in paying $70 for that fight because I don't think he can beat John Jones. And he cost himself a lot of money. That super fight would have drawn a lot. Especially with the way those two guys, because they genuinely, I think, don't like each other.
They really wanted to set that up. That was the whole point of having him fight Jan, is they wanted to set that fight up. I watched the fight, and I'll give my take on it. I felt like Jan was very passive, was very worried about Jan's power. I didn't see him be the aggressor like he normally is in stand-up. It looked like he was worried about getting popped and getting cold-cocked.
I agree.
And it almost felt like by the 4th round, which was annoying to me, that he actually wanted to get out of the fight without getting knocked out to save grace more than he wanted to win the fight.
Yeah, I don't
Charlie,
think
your thought?
I agree. I don't think you point to a point in the fight where in the 4th or 5th round he tried to win the fight or try to push the action. I agree. I think he tried to just coast through it, and it was kind of going to be. He knew he was losing, and it was going to be what it was going to be. And it was.
I didn't have him losing going into.
I was going to say the part that I disagree with is that whenever he did try to get the rhythm, Jan would just get him to the ground. Like that was in the 5th round. Like I thought he came out aggressive, and I thought he was having a good round, and I thought it was. In my scorecard, I had it 2-2 going into the 5th, and so I thought that he was doing a good job, and it was at like the 3:30 mark, so a minute and a half into it, I'm like, all right, Izzy's coming out, he's trying to set the pace, and then Jan got him to the ground, and he dominated him. I don't think that's Izzy being afraid and not trying to win the fight. I think he was trying to win, but at the same time, he didn't want to be on the ground. Like that was really the part that was most shocking to me is how bad he looked on the ground, and that's really where the weight played a difference in it for me.
They couldn't get up.
He was having trouble getting up, and
couldn't get up at all.
I do think that he was worried about being knocked out by Jan, but at the same time, I feel like he wasn't as aggressive because he didn't want to get put in the position where he was on his back like how we saw in the last 2 rounds.
His takedown defense needs work. I mean,
that's evident.
It looked good the first couple rounds. He stopped the takedown, and in reality, he really didn't get taken down like heavy and get held down until the 4th round.
So you both had him winning the first round then?
I did.
Yes.
Okay. I had 3-1, but that's fine. First round was very close.
And that's fair. I think the first round was close too.
I was gonna say, I told you guys that I thought it was pretty even in the first round, and I thought Izzy was a little bit more aggressive, so that's why I had him win in the first round.
Okay, that's fair. I don't think that. So look, when I watched that fight, I control the part I'm going to disagree with you on, and I'm really going to kind of get into this a little bit more. Is I've watched a lot of Izzy fights, and you can say that he came out a little bit more aggressive than he did in the previous 4 rounds in the 5th round.
Right.
And I'll agree with that. He didn't look like Izzy fighting someone at 185 that he knew he could dominate.
I'll agree with that.
He looked like he was scared of Jan's power. You didn't feel that?
I
think anybody that watched
I don't
want to
say scared of his power, but he's being smart. Like if you know
if you
know a guy can knock you out,
if you have a chance to win a fight, it's not being smart. You got to go for blow.
I mean,
but wait.
At that
but
point,
you just said you had him down. You just said you had it even 2-2. So
I did.
How would he know that he was down 3-1?
So to Bill's point, at minimum, he was tied. Like as absolute best for Izzy, he was tied.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
agree.
He couldn't go into that 5th thinking he was up 3-1.
Correct.
No. I completely understand that. But in his mind, if he wins that round, he is a double champ. You don't want to get in the position. He was just dominated in the 4th round on the ground, and you don't want to get in the position where Jan shoots. He gets you on your back, and you're just laying there helpless, essentially, for the next 5 minutes.
At
that point, you know you're not going to
make a statement and put that.
See, I'm with Gene on that. Like that's, I mean, if you have to have champion's mentality that you're going to go out and win the fight.
I agree with you.
I mean, because here's the thing: if you go out and lose and get laid on for 5 minutes, what's the difference anyway? Then you're going to lose the fight either way.
That's true, but I feel like he knew that if this fight goes to the ground and I'm on my back, I am for sure going to lose this bout. If I can keep my distance, get my strikes, win this round, at least I have a chance going onto the cards. This was Izzy's first fight going up to 205. He probably realized, like, hey, these punches aren't hitting the same like how they hit the guys at 185. So I'm probably not going to knock this guy out. I have to try and win this round, and hopefully the judges give it to me on the scorecard.
He can't fight at 205 again.
No,
I agree. I think he should go back to 185 and stay there.
I'm not going to say he can't fight at 205 again, but he's not.
He can't fight
he's showing exactly. He's showing that he's not a championship caliber 205 fighter, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, BJ Penn beat Stiffs at 205. You can do that too if you want.
There's nothing wrong with not being a 205 fighter.
Exactly, I agree.
If he goes to 185 and he's as dominant as he has been against all the other top contenders at 185, there is no problem with him. He went up to 205. He tested it. It's not for him. Stay at 185 and be the best 185 ever.
Correct. Well,
my point is,
it's going to be tough to do that. But if you go out and you just keep winning and you dominate in his fashion, there's no reason why he couldn't be.
He's just too small. I mean,
I agree.
And it's
he's got to put a lot of
205.
Yeah. You got to put a lot of muscle on. A lot of it.
He would. He would.
What
have
up,
to,
Dante? Seen him on the wire line.
He would have to. He'd probably have to take a solid year off and get in shape if he was going to permanently move to 205.
But I don't think there's any reason to go up to 205.
I agree.
He's shown. I mean, we saw it. He's not 205 caliber. Go to 185. That's where where you've made your money, and that's where you're going to continue to be dominant.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be dominant. I mean, it's just there's not like a lot of there's no fights there that excite anybody. That's problem.
That's not his fault, though.
I'm not saying it's fault. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault, but it still hurts him. Like that is again. I hate to harp on it, but that's why everybody wanted to see him fight John before he did this. He could at least got his money. Like there's nobody paying him to fight at 205.
I mean, such a big jump from 185 to 205.
It is.
It's the only weight division where you go up 20 pounds.
And you've no prayer. Well, heavyweight's same.
Well, I mean, heavyweight you don't have a min.
I mean,
you could walk in a heavyweight at 201.
I don't know if they would sanction that.
They would. They did it.
With who?
BJ Penn. He fought heavyweight
on UFC.
Yes, he did.
Who?
He fought Ruiz heavyweight.
I don't remember that at all.
9 years ago.
I mean, there's no way. I mean, especially if Jones beats Stipe too, it's not going to matter. But there's no way John Jones ever coming back to 205 to fight him.
There's no reason to.
Okay,
I agree.
So, Stylebender was a disappointment as far as the fight goes. Regardless, I think the fight was a disappointment. I don't think it was a very action-packed fight. I want to talk about another fight that we kind of knew exactly was going to happen. Ronda Rousey. I'm kidding. Amanda Nunes just continues to keep putting the staple as she took out the Undertaker in very Amanda Nunes fashion. She dominated the Undertaker.
I don't know.
Tell me Megan Anderson doesn't look like the Undertaker's wife. She does.
Undertaker's wife's actually hot. But
I'm
Michelle McCool.
But you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. If his wife was the female version of him, that's what you're going for.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Listen,
maybe his sister.
That's right. I don't know what's left for her. I don't. She wants to keep fighting. I know she does. I just don't. I mean, she is.
Did you hear the conversation when we're like, you just beat everybody? She goes, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I was dying.
She's just an animal.
Yeah, she's unbelievable.
She is dead smack in the middle of GOAT status all time, if you're including men.
What the craziest part is that she really hasn't even been doing this that long, but she's been so dominant that I wouldn't argue that at all. Like, I'd be on your side.
Bro, throw a card out. She literally has wins over Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Chris Cyborg. Just dominant wins, too.
Yeah. And
Megan Anderson.
Dismantled Ronda Rousey. Dismantled Cyborg.
That Cyborg fight was the best minute 38 seconds.
I don't know. She is
so awesome.
She is.
Yo, if you haven't watched her versus Cyborg, please just watch that. It's not long, but it's amazing because Cyborg went into that fight like, I'm going to knock you out, and it just didn't work.
I don't know if
Got
you could say Megan Anderson didn't show up, Dante. I think Amanda Nunes she just simply outclassed her. Even if Megan was there on her best day, Amanda was putting her to sleep. Or
it's a huge gap. It's a huge gap. I mean, I don't know what would have to happen for her to win that fight. Dante is the only person I know that was full steam ahead on that train too.
No, he still, to his credit, he still picked Amanda. He just,
he thought she was gonna last. He thought Megan was gonna last a little bit longer, and there's nothing wrong with that.
How big she was, yeah.
Amanda Nunes is just a different animal. I don't know if there's a bigger drop between a champion and everybody else in the division than there is.
Well, we know the fight that has to happen.
What?
She has to fight Shevchenko again. She's the only one that, I mean, it went the distance, but you knew Amanda.
Go to 135.
Yeah.
That's just. I think that's a cruising for a bruising.
But I mean, that's literally the only person who even has a prayer of making it somewhat interesting.
At least it would sell pay-per-views.
It would. I just don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're in her camp, if you're telling her to take that fight.
No, you're not saying that. You're not lobbying for Amanda Nunes by any means.
Are you ready to stop your career?
Yeah.
I have a fight for you.
Ready to take 8 months off with a broken face.
Although I really do like Shevchenko, though, too.
She's a great fighter.
She's great. She just, she's going to have to move up to do it, and it's just not good.
Okay, so can we get to the Academy Awards? I'm sorry. I mean, Aljamain Sterling.
For biggest puss of the year. I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay, so all right, so I have a lot to go into this fight, and this is the fight that
you're already sawing, like, you know everything that's been said and like disproven already, right? Before you
go ahead, Bill. Break it down for us.
All right, I don't know who wants to fight.
Have a concussion.
I don't want to know who wants to fight after getting kneed in the head. And it wasn't him who called off the fight. It wasn't him who called it off. It was the doctor who called it off.
He said what he needed to say to get out of the fight.
Yeah, agreed. You want to know parts of that?
I kind of could see.
Yeah,
it's better when I lay down on my back.
Yeah.
Dude, I listen to every single word.
That isn't popping up being like, I'm good, let's go.
No, yeah, facts.
Big goddamn difference.
And they would have gave him all the time in the world. They tried to keep that fight going because they didn't want a title to. But Aljamain was smart by doing
getting kneed in the. Why would you go into the next round after you got kneed in the head? You're already at a serious disadvantage.
You're a serious disadvantage because you're getting your ass kicked in a fight. I play a serious disadvantage.
Look, the
only
argument.
2-2.
No. See, Gene keeps saying that because he's leveraging how it really was. The fight was 2-1. He keeps saying, "Oh, Peter Yan was winning that round. It was about to be 3-1."
Yes.
You can't say that.
That's like being
that's like being in an NBA. That's like being in an NBA basketball game, and you're like, "Oh yeah, we're up 2," and then a technical foul gets called, and they don't shoot the free throws, and you're like, "Oh yep, yeah, well they were up 2, when we canceled the game and they didn't get to shoot their 2 technical free throws."
It's a really bad comparison.
It's not a terrible comparison because if they would have won to the 5th round, at worst case scenario, one judge had it. Aljamain was up 2-1 going into that round. So worst case scenario, Yan gets docked a point. Worst case scenario, he gets docked 2 points. Yan can't win that round after you do an illegal move. You're not getting up on that card 10-9.
He's not getting docked 2 points.
You're not going. It's not going to be a 10-9 round though. It's not going to be 10-9. It's not going to be 10-9 Yan.
No, it's going to be a 9-9 round. That's my whole point.
But my point is, people keep saying, "Oh yeah, Yan, he was going to win that round." No, you do an illegal move, you're not going to win the round.
So dead serious, real quick. Aljamain Sterling won the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the fight.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
I disagree.
I know a lot of people on a lot of scorecards had Peter Yan winning that first round because it popped them.
Yeah. Because of the knockdown. I thought Sterling won the second round. I thought Yan won the first round and Sterling won the second round.
How?
I don't think anybody had that. Oh, well, maybe the one dumb judge. I almost said something bad.
Yeah,
I almost the one dumb judge on the air.
Buzz you.
Buzz me.
Buzz you for the R word.
I just, when I look at that fight, I looked at, this is the most I've heard Cottrell Simpson talk. He's got fire takes. I love it. Keep going. Travis on the wire line. I love it. Cottrell, keep talking more. But I think it was an acting performance. I think that the more and more I watched it, it was very smart of him. It was a smart move of Aljamain Sterling.
Is that really how you want to go down winning a belt, though?
No, but here's what all right, watch how this works. Ready? I want to go back in the fight. I know I'm losing a fight. I know I'm gassed. I know I'm getting beat. Okay? Ready? Watch how this goes. I lose the fight. Peter Yan's now going to fight Steroid Boy. Dillashaw. Now, he's the champion. So he gets more money to fight again, and he's going to get way more money because he's the champion. So he's going to get more money to fight Peter Yan again.
But he doesn't want to.
I know.
He's on record. Dana literally went in the locker room and said, "You're next. Like, we're going to run it back." And he goes, "I don't want to fight him."
Yeah. I wouldn't either.
He absolutely 100% did. Dana confirmed it.
He said,
Dana said, "I want to fight somebody else."
Yeah.
That is the definition of that dude just being like, "I need to hold on to this." He knows he can't beat him.
I disagree.
He said it. How do you say it?
So he was losing that fight. Yes, I agree. He was down.
I think he was outclassed.
I thought he was down 2-1.
Agreed.
But at the same time, if they fight again, I think Aljamain came out in the first fight too fast. He's going to have a full camp to prepare for another 5-round fight. No, I said another full camp to prepare himself for a 5-round fight. He knows how Peter Yan fights now. That's going to be an advantage for him. Of course, Peter Yan knows how Sterling fights too. But I'm saying Sterling can kind of what his weaknesses were in that fight. He can go into this camp and figure out how he can combat it. I think he has a chance to beat Peter Yan. It wasn't like the fight was just completely overboard and he was out of his league.
I agree with Gene. I think he's outclassed, and I just don't know how
He came out too
And
fast.
how
He
if
set the
you're
pace too fast.
Acting. There's nothing he did that night to act like a champion. Nothing, in my opinion.
Peter Yan, really dumb move.
Agreed.
Obviously.
I don't think there was intent behind it. Like nobody would knowingly do that
when they're winning a championship.
when they're winning a championship fight and piss it away. Like he thought he was going to get up and he didn't get up, and that's what happened. I mean, and it was called correctly. Nobody's disputing that. He absolutely kneed him in the head when he's on the ground.
So why are you mad at the guy that got kneed in the head? How are you going to say?
I don't
how
know
he
if
feels?
I'm mad because he was telling everybody, he was in his interviews, oh, I got a concussion, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Again, they all looked it up. Wasn't diagnosed with a concussion. He got hit in the head. Then Dana White, the president of the goddamn company, walks in and goes, hey, with the way that I'll end it, you guys are going to run it back. And he goes, I'm not fighting him. I want to fight somebody else. Like at some point, you got to act like a champion. Step the hell up.
I can agree with you on that. I didn't realize that Aljamain said that he didn't want to fight Peter Yan again. I thought that was like a no brainer. Like next fight is going to be Peter Yan.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. So I will agree with you. Aljamain can't do that. But at the same time, you cannot say that. Oh, it was an acting job when you saw and you agree that he got hit in the head with an illegal knee.
That's all. That's like the same as like when guys get kicked in the balls, dude. It's the same thing.
So getting kneed in the head is like getting
But I'm
kicked in
saying
the nuts.
they give him time.
Me?
They give him time. They go, okay, take as much time as you need.
Okay, so Aljamain thought he had a concussion there. That's the same as getting hit in the nuts. That's what you're telling me.
Is what annoyed me. Just come out and say
the acting thing was annoying.
Just come out and say, dude, I'm done. Like he hit me in the head. He knows the rules. I would have more respect when we did that, not laying on the ground being like, "Oh, I feel better this way."
But in the immediate reaction, though, you don't think that he was probably a little dazed? You don't think that it had any effect on him? You thought he was just normal because he got kneed in the head?
It's no different than getting popped, dude.
Yeah, and when you get popped, like if you're on the football field, you see players who get popped and they're a little woozy. They stand up and they have no clue where they're at. They go to the tent. At that point, they realize they don't have
they go back in the game.
But how long does that take, though? It's not like it's a 5-minute thing and they're back on the field.
As much time as they want it. I'm not saying the fight was stopped for a bad reason. There's nothing you can say that if you watch that fight, you could say to defend him that he wanted to restart that fight.
Oh, and I would agree with you on that.
All right, then we're good.
He was gassed. He was gassed. That was obvious. He was gassed. The other thing, he just got kneed in the head. He was already gassed and he got kneed in the head. That's 2 whammies going for you against the championship fighter.
And he knew he was going to squirm out of that fight with a belt.
I actually hate that rule. I don't think belts should ever change hands on DQs. At
worst
worst case scenario, you should vacate the title.
Because I promise you, if the way that fight was going, if they either vacate that belt or it stays with Yan, he gets up and continues that fight.
Yes, I agree. I actually think he was just done. But speaking of bad decisions by Peter Yan, let's talk about a bad decision the Cowboys made by signing Dak Prescott to a 4-year, $160 million contract. Now, what Jerry did is he kind of cheated the system. So he loaded the bonus money to make only $22 million hit this year. A full 160 is not going to touch the cap because Jerry's got more money than anyone, and he can just pay it out in bonus money. But I think the only people that won the Dak Prescott to the Dallas Cowboys deal is the other teams that reside in the NFC East. I do have one person on this set that disagrees with that, so I'll start with him. Cottrell, tell me about the Dak signing.
The Dak signing, I want to make it clear that I would never pay a non-top 10 quarterback the money that Dak got, or really a non-top 5 quarterback the money that Dak got. With that said, though, I think that the Cowboys are in a position where their roster is very talented, and that if they can put together the pieces on that defense, they can be a championship caliber team. There's nothing that Mike McCarthy has shown me that says he can be a championship caliber coach. Now, I mean, I know he did it in Green Bay, but that was 10 years ago, and it's not the same now. But I think this Dallas roster is very talented, and having Dak back, and he's the leader of that locker room, and a lot of guys rally behind him. It's smart if they can bolster their defense and win within the next 2 to 3 years. You have no money 2 to 3 years from now, so really this is your championship window.
Don't say 3, because in 3 years from now, that cap hit's unbelievable. The run that they have is for 2 years.
They have a 2-year window.
2-year window. That's it. And they're not going to win this year. So they have a 1-year window.
I think they have I think it'd be 3 just because you can get. They still have draft picks, so if you hit on,
you have to hit on all of them.
You do, but if you hit, you have a 3-year window.
No.
No.
They don't have a 3-year window.
He jumps up to 44 in the third year.
Yeah, he's not making $44 million unless they kick the bucket with cap.
They're what they're gonna have to do. I mean, you could say he'll still be there in 3 years. He's obviously gonna be there in 3 years, but then they're gonna have to cut other people because between him, Zeke, and Amari Cooper alone, it's 55% of their cap the year.
Travis said it perfect. Dak's biggest weakness is the owner he plays for.
Yeah, well,
That's fair.
that's fine. I mean, listen,
But okay, so if you shed Zeke's contract and you shed some of the other bad contracts, Zeke is a good running back, but he's on the decline right now. If you can get another guy, you can plug and play.
Good running backs don't decline that much.
So Zeke was never a good running back?
He was a good running back. That's a very good statement.
He was a good running back, and he's on the decline right now.
He's a good running back.
Zeke was a good running back behind a dominant offensive line.
Correct.
His offensive line now is terrible, so who was going to look great behind that offensive line?
My point, yeah, but now you have to go rebuild an offensive line. Elite offensive linemen are not cheap.
They're not, but they have
linemen
that are coming back right now.
And how's Dak Prescott looked in games without Tyron Smith?
Not good.
Dead serious. Like, I'm not kidding with you. Look up Dak Prescott. Everyone can do this. It's very easy. Dak Prescott without Tyron Smith. I think he's 2-7.
Yeah.
I think he's 2-7 with a quarterback rating below 90.
He got
without one offensive lineman. That's serious. I'm not kidding. I looked it up before. It was 1-6. I think he went 1-1. After that, I'm not 100% sure, but I knew it was at least 1-6 the first 7 games without Tyron Smith. And that line is not getting younger. You have one young lineman on that group. Zach Martin's 30. Lyle Collins is the young lineman. Tyron Smith's 30. You got Tyler Badaz, who's a backup center who could be good.
He was their guard this year.
Badaz? Yeah, well, he played center and he played guard.
He played center in college, but he can play both. And I mean, he didn't have a bad year himself. That's not the guy you're not going to bolster your line around him, but I mean, he can hold his own there, and they're getting their guys back. I think if they can put the right pieces together on that defense, and the defense is just somewhat respectable. Like, if they're a 15th ranked defense, they can be a really good team if that offense is how we think it should be.
Offense is supposed to be that way for the last 2 years now, though.
Their defense last year was historically bad.
It was.
Historically.
It was.
So I guess changing coordinator will be the end-all, be-all for them.
And that's what I'm saying. If you can get to, like, 15th, where you're just average on defense, you got a shot
they
to
could be a playoff
special.
team. They could be a playoff, not
team.
special. All right, so I'll put it to you this way. Ready? There's very, very few teams in the NFL that aren't top 10 in offense and top 10 in defense that win Super Bowls. Very few. Very few teams in the NFL that are not top 10 in offense, top 10 defense. You're saying at best they can be top 15. If they could sneak into the top 15, they'll make the playoffs. I got news for you, too. That defense over in Washington is not getting any worse. They're getting better. Montez Sweat, I'm telling you right now, Washington's winning that division. We can mark that shit down now.
As long as they get a quarterback.
Yeah, they got to get a
They're
quarterback.
going to.
I agree. I mean,
I feel like I'm sticking up for Washington way too much this week.
I'm actually with you on that. I think Washington is the best football team on paper. I think Dallas has some of the bigger names.
On paper, though.
Okay, if they get a quarterback, they are 100% the better football team.
What I'm going to say is on paper, you guys will probably disagree with me, but on paper, if Washington's defense is fully healthy and the Cowboys' offense is fully healthy, which, I mean, both of them are really great, probably top 3 in the NFL.
Yeah, but I'll still take Washington all day because Dallas's defense is terrible.
I'm just comparing those two, though. I'm saying if Dallas can be at their A game on offense and their defense is respectable, they're going to have a shot to make noise in the playoffs.
All right, what's respectable? Because they're dumpster
15,
fire
16.
right now. They're a dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, like they were 30 last year.
Yeah.
No, they were.
And they were 32 forever.
Yeah.
They were 30
horrible.
at the end of
They
the year.
they have no talent on that side of the ball. That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't getting fixed this year because they don't have money to go out and buy studs to bring in either.
They got to drive.
My biggest comparison would be this, ready? And I'm going to break it down as nice as possible. Tell me how much better CeeDee Lamb makes them. And before you do that, because I'm asking that question, look at the 2019 Cowboys.
Okay.
Amari Cooper there for the full year, full training camp. Michael Gallup there for the full year. Zeke there for the full year. Dak healthy for the full year. Offensive line reasonably healthy for the full year. And they lost to Carson Wentz and the Brady Bunch.
To win the division.
Correct. That's your biggest comparison. So if you add CeeDee Lamb And that was when they had a better defensive coordinator. That's when they had Rod Marinelli instead of
And a better defense.
Mike Nolan. That's what I'm saying. The coordinator.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like everybody's acting like they signed Dak to this contract, and now like they're a better team. He was already the quarterback then.
Yeah.
It's not like they brought him in as a free agent. That team has the same enormous holes that it had last year, and it's not getting any better. They have no money.
Gene, my only argument for that was that you think that CeeDee Lamb was the best receiver in that class.
I do.
And so
I still kind of teeter to that.
So you add that to that Cowboys offense, that's gonna take them to a higher level.
I think you're missing a point.
Amari's decline, Zeke's decline.
Well, I know what you're trying to say. Gene's saying the difference between those two teams in essence is CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is not making your team 8 games better.
No, they don't have to be 8 games better. If they're 8 games better, then they go 15
if Washington gets a quarterback,
15-2.
If Washington gets a quarterback, a good quarterback, that team is no worse than 11-5 next year. You are not convincing me. You're not convincing me that Dallas is winning 12 games. You're not.
Washington's winning both games versus Philadelphia with that defensive line.
100%. Dallas is not winning 12 football games next year.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
So now you're wild card at best. So we're going from wild card.
A wild card team just won the Super Bowl. A wild card team just won the Super Bowl. Let's make that clear.
With Tom Brady and a stud team.
Okay,
with a brand new situation.
I understand that. The Cowboys offense, they have a stud offense. If everyone's healthy, they have a stud offense and a bad defense. If the defense,
the difference was this year's Tampa Bay team had a great defense.
We forget the Tampa Bay defense that was before the playoffs.
No, I don't.
You're also
I was going to argue that.
We forget.
Okay,
that defense wasn't that good.
But you're one of the people that sat here and said Tampa Bay didn't win the Super Bowl because of Tom Brady. They won it because of their defense.
No.
True or false?
I said the playoff games before that against the Saints
and
against
Super
the
Bowl
Packers
and the
Absolutely.
Super Bowl. You said it.
I didn't say that they won
Dallas's
because of their defense.
Is nowhere near that.
They're not.
No.
And their offense isn't better than
That's why I'm
Tampa
saying
Bay's.
if they add pieces.
With
you have
what?
to see.
That's what we're saying. With
draft
what?
picks, they draft well.
Now you're you're getting 9 stud back end defenders in the draft.
What they need to
in
do
1 year.
So they went corner last year in the second round. They have 2 linebackers that play. I mean, I know you guys hate Jalen Smith, but he's overpaid. But
right, so he's gonna be one of the ones that's gonna get cut when they have to.
They still got Van Der Esch. Like, they have people.
He's Sean Lee Jr. He's hurt every other game, too.
Yeah, I think that the Dallas Cowboys are in a...
You're a Dallas fan. That's
crazy. Well, it is. He's sidebar Dallas fan. I'm not rooting for Cleveland no more.
Yeah, I'm
off the bandwagon.
We beat you guys anyway.
All right, so I want to get a little bit further into the fact
that Super Bowl pump.
I want to get a little bit further into the fact that Dak Prescott, I'm just going to end that conversation. But I'm going to just end it with saying that Washington football team is going to win that division.
Okay.
All right, so conference tourney preview. We got to get into that. Conference tourney preview is super, super huge. Duke won again. I want to start with the ACC.
Duke and Miami won again.
Duke's the one that has a chance.
Oh, no, I'm not saying Miami's making the tournament, but you now have 2 extremely low seeds that have won 2 games. And just blowing up the bracket. So, I mean, it's going to get interesting.
So, when I look at this this tournament, I think that the winner of Florida State versus Duke, because, first one we're going to get into is ACC. And I think that getting into the ACC, the Blue Blood division, I think that they'll end up being the winner of the tournament is the winner of Duke versus Florida State tomorrow. And you think Florida State's going to win that game? Who do you have win the ACC tournament, Bill?
I was actually... Believe it or not, like I was kind of along the same lines as you. I thought who came out of the bottom, either Florida State or maybe North Carolina.
You can't say Duke. I know it. Your sister would kill you.
I hate Duke, and I'm not saying Duke because they suck anyway, so I wouldn't pick them.
Playing well.
Playing
better without Jalen Johnson.
True. I think whoever comes out of the bottom is winning. I have no faith in Virginia. They're the definition of a Jekyll and Hyde team.
They're not winning 3 straight games.
I'm agreeing with you. I think whoever comes out of the bottom. I think North Carolina's got a tricky game tonight. I do think they get past Virginia Tech, and then if they do that and Florida State beats Duke, I think the winner of that game wins the ACC.
So the winner of what game? Florida State Duke?
No, Florida State, North Carolina.
No, Florida State's. Oh, you mean Florida State beats Duke?
Correct. I think Florida State beats Duke.
Okay.
They're the one team out of all of them that I I feel like they have the steadiest game. Virginia Tech's all over the place. Virginia, we've talked about numerous times. They're just a fraud. I just don't know what you're going to get from them.
So Michael Robert Lafferty on the wire line said, "What a comeback by the Zags last night." I want to talk about that in a minute because we're going to end the ACC and then we'll get into the Big 12 and Big 10. I want to state my claim. Okay, I'm the only host on this show that thinks Gonzaga has a chance to win the national championship and they're undefeated.
Well,
I
they
think
have a
Gonzaga-
chance.
Back up. Nobody said that they didn't have a chance.
Yep.
I said I'm not picking them. There's a big
Preach, Bill.
difference. Yeah.
Preach,
You
Bill.
said they weren't going to make the Final Four.
I did say that, but I didn't say they didn't have a chance. It's not like they're
Well, if they
nobody's
don't make the Final
It's not
Four,
like
they don't have a
they're.
chance.
It's not like they're Villanova.
That's fair.
I just want to stake my
Villanova.
claim before the tournament starts. I am taking the Gonzaga Bulldogs. I think they're going to win the tournament. I think that they have the most overall fundamentally sound team, offensively, defense, shooting, inside game. I think Gonzaga wins the whole tournament. Just want to be clear. Just want to say that on record. Hackney thinks your Michigan Wolverines win. He just put it on the wire line.
Well, they're doomed now.
Yeah, well, if Hackney picks them, they're definitely winning, bro.
Listen, I will say this. I mean, I think it's gonna be when the final bracket comes out Sunday. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see who the 2 and 3 seeds are in Gonzaga's bracket. They want no part. There's a couple teams they do not want to see. They don't want to see Houston. They don't want to see West Virginia. And I'll even throw Cottrell some love. I don't think they want Ohio State either.
Gonzaga? Stop it.
Okay.
Stop it. You don't want Ohio the sinking ship? I want the sinking
They
ship.
barely want BYU, so I don't know if Ohio State
They beat
would just
BYU
be-
by 10 points, guys.
We will see what Ohio State looks like.
And
tomorrow.
everyone, and we're gonna all
will.
talk trash about Gonzaga because they're ranked wins because they played conference play and their conference isn't good. But they have 5 ranked wins that happened in December. So that doesn't matter.
December
now.
basketball
It
does
doesn't
not matter now at all. No, it does not.
It does, bro. It does.
Why does December
'Cause
basketball
they've
matter
proven
in
they
March?
can put up 100 on Iowa. They've proven that they can put up 90 on Kansas.
So
They've proven
Iowa's
that
the
they can
same
put
team.
They
So
literally proved
wait.
they beat Kansas
Hold on.
the first
Hold on.
day of the season.
Hold on.
They wouldn't do that now.
Hold up.
Before 2 weeks ago, where was Kansas ranked on? Was Kansas a top 4 seed for anybody before they beat Baylor?
I mean,
no. So you're saying that team that Gonzaga beat forever ago is the same Kansas team that's playing well right now? No, that's not the case.
I think that Gonzaga is clearly the best team in the country.
Because of how you're playing in December, it means absolutely nothing. It's how you're playing
I
now.
got news for you. I think Jalen Suggs might be the number 1 pick after this tournament too.
I won't argue that with you
that's
at
not
all.
crazy.
I'll double down on what I said before the show. I think your problem is when they get a team that can guard and has teams that has athletes that can stay in front of those guys. He is the only guy on that team that's going to be able to get his.
Okay.
So
we got 2 more tournaments.
I got to break down my ACC tournament.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. I skipped over.
So
you.
I got Virginia Tech.
He was talking a lot earlier.
Virginia
Yeah.
Tech beating Georgia Tech in
You're
the
at your
ACC
word
final.
limit. You're at the word limit for the show. You're done.
Virginia Tech beats Georgia Tech in the ACC final. Georgia Tech is by far the hottest team in the ACC.
Georgia Tech's another one of those teams that, like, I've watched them and, like, they have nights.
They have, but they haven't had them recently, though.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
No, I
but
hear you.
Georgia Tech is
So
really
you have
put it
Georgia
together.
Tech over Virginia Tech.
Jesus Christ.
Who do you have?
No, I have Virginia Tech over Georgia Tech.
I say Vatek over Georgia Tech.
Yep.
So you're just talking about how good Georgia Tech was, but then
Yeah, but they're going to lose to Virginia Tech, though.
Got it. And who do you have in your final 2?
I have Virginia getting there, but I have them losing to either Florida State or North Carolina. Whoever wins that game.
That's
Probably
how
Florida
bad
State.
the ACC is.
It's
No,
terrible.
We're not going to
It's
have we have
terrible.
no teams that are the same.
I'll
so
go
far.
nuts. I'll go nuts. This might look bad tomorrow. I'll go Duke over Virginia.
Oh, Christ.
Dukies, baby.
That's not crazy.
It is crazy.
Virginia's the
They're
1
a 10
seed.
seed.
Duke is
They're 10
playing
seed.
well. They're playing well.
Duke gets into the tournament, I swear to God.
I hope they do. Let's get into the Big 12 tournament. That's the next on the agenda because I want to save the Big 10 for last to let you two, cockfight over it.
I don't know, cockfight. I mean, I don't think he's even crazy enough to pick Ohio State to win it. So
We'll find out shortly. Does anyone have anyone but Baylor? Because I didn't ask you guys before the show. I have Baylor. Bill's thinking about it. I love it.
I was thinking about it, but
Who Who would you have picked over Baylor?
West Virginia.
Okay.
Well, that's a semi game if they get there.
I know. That's why I think Baylor wins that game. But if West Virginia gets out of that game, they're going to win the conference.
West Virginia's got to beat Oklahoma State.
I actually think the winner of
They're
that game
gonna beat
wins
Oklahoma
because
State.
Kansas is missing McCormick for this tournament because he's got COVID stuff.
Yep.
So Kansas, I think Kansas is going to get to the finals.
Yeah, I also agree.
I don't know if they're going to have enough to beat Baylor or West Virginia without him. It would be tough.
West Virginia, we keep talking about West Virginia, how good they are.
They
and we
just
see
lost
them
to
at their
Oklahoma
high.
State without Cade Cunningham. We know.
Okay, well, the listeners didn't.
We know.
Maybe they didn't know at home.
Well, I'm telling them, and now they know. And now
I've
we
said,
know.
and I've said all year, Oklahoma State's a little bit better team than you guys give them credit for. And I got Cade Cunningham, and then they went to West Virginia and won that basketball game.
Well, in December, Oklahoma State was just terrible. So that's what I was judging them based on.
Well, that's a bad judgment, isn't it?
I guess so.
Maybe.
Gonzaga hasn't lost all year, and they won every game by
Can't
10
base
points.
Stuff off. Well, I mean, yeah, beating St. Mary's by 10 isn't really a big.
No, they beat St. Mary's by 27.
They just beat Bucks Community College on Wednesday.
Exactly.
Nope, that's not Bucks Community College. It's BYU, my friend.
Might as well be. Cal State Fullerton. I mean, they had a basketball team till the other day.
Okay.
It's definitely Baylor's to lose. I think whoever wins the Baylor West Virginia game is probably going to win because I don't think Kansas can beat either one of them without McCormick. Neutral court again, it makes a difference.
It does because Baylor just won at West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, so it's I think Baylor's the prohibitive favor there. I won't say I'll be shocked because there are a
They're
bunch
getting
of
back into their groove too.
yeah. They're shaking off the COVID break, Russ. So I'll go with Baylor. I mean, I think they're the best team in the country.
Second best, but I got it. And then you have Baylor too.
Yeah, Baylor's the best team in the country, and I think that if Baylor gets the toughest game is going to be Baylor West Virginia. The winner of that game wins the conference, and I feel like it's going to be Baylor. So I have Baylor over Kansas in the final, but if somehow, some way they slip up to West Virginia is going to win the conference.
Who would Kansas play in the semis?
They would play
Oklahoma?
Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's going to beat Kansas.
Cool.
I'll have Baylor over Oklahoma in the finals.
So you think Oklahoma's going to beat Texas or Texas Tech?
Yes, and then I think they're going to beat Kansas.
Yeah, they're playing Iowa State later tonight. If they win that, they play. No,
Texas.
They play Kansas.
Yeah, they play Kansas, and
Play
then they have to
Kansas
beat.
tomorrow.
But then they have to beat Texas or Texas Tech to go to the final.
Fair. I have Oklahoma. I have Baylor over Oklahoma.
I mean, I have no problem seeing Oklahoma beat
Oklahoma's not going
Texas
to the final.
or Texas Tech. I don't think they're beating Kansas though.
Okay, we'll find out then.
We will. We will.
Neutral court changes everything. Tournaments, teams get hot.
I agree, dude. There's been upsets galore yesterday and today. Even the little tournaments, there's just crazy shit going on.
Shout out to Cleveland State.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, that really wasn't an
Shit.
upset though.
Gonzaga's best win of the season. No, I'm just kidding.
West Virginia team. You keep
He's just
keep
busting
talking
balls
up.
now.
I know. All right, so let's get into the Big Ten tournament. Big Ten tournament's a lot of fun.
Best conference in the country.
Is it?
It is.
Yep.
It is. I agree. Who wins the Big Ten tournament? I'm going to start with Mr. Michigan. If you don't know at home, that's Scholastic Shally.
It's definitely not me.
Uncle Shally.
I think Michigan's going to win. It's
Shocker.
It's a little. I mean,
kidding.
they won the conference. I think there's a decent to good chance that there's absolute chaos. There's just too many teams that can beat too many teams in the Big Ten. I mean, me and you've talked about it before, where I mean, you really could get two crap teams, not crap, but Iowa. There's a chance Iowa, Illinois, Michigan, Ohio State. There's all games they could lose. They could trip up. I mean, we're most likely have to play Michigan State again. So I mean, who knows?
Can I get a Michigan versus the field bet? I'll take the field.
I mean,
Sure. Can I get a field versus Gonzaga bet? I'll take the field.
Not for the whole tournament.
Oh, here we go.
64.
Here we go.
Stop it. I'll take Gonzaga.
It's damn near the same amount of
hey,
games.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you put Gonzaga as the one seed in the Big Ten bracket,
They're
I'm
not-
taking the field.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fair. Can I get a Michigan versus the field bracket?
No.
No. Okay. Who do you got, Control?
So part of what Bill's breakdown is kind of why I went with what I'm going with. I got Iowa winning the whole thing.
Oh, we didn't go Homer.
Just because Michigan's got a tough road. They're gonna have to face Michigan State again, and then I think Ohio State's going to get past Purdue, and they're going to have to face Ohio State for the third time, and it's going to be hard to beat a good team 3 times.
We only played you once.
What are you talking about?
Pretty sure we only played you once.
We didn't. Oh, I thought you guys swept us.
No, I mean we would have if we played you again, but
Oh man.
I feel like. Anyway, it's hard to beat hard to beat a good team multiple times in the same season. I think Ohio State's they're gonna be ready for Michigan. And as for Iowa, I just feel like they're a team that once they get hot, they're gonna be tough to stop, and I feel like they're gonna get hot for the Big Ten tournament. Shally, you mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it was on air or not, but these guys get a chance to shoot on the rims that they're going to be playing in the tournament, and that's going to be a big advantage for them once the tournament starts.
It is something to watch for the Big Ten teams. I'll say it again on record. They're playing in Indianapolis. Their court is going to be set up the same. It's going to be a little bit more elevated, obviously, for TV for the tournament. But the sight lines and everything, all these Big Ten teams are going to play on it. And it's not an enormous 10-point advantage or anything, but it's why you see a lot of games in the tournament where you see teams start out cold. Takes a while to get your depth perception. Takes a while to. All these kids are going to be used to it. So I mean, when you're thinking about that, I mean, if you're stealing even 2 or 3 buckets at the beginning of the game when another team's adjusting, I mean that could matter at the end.
Listen, as a sharpshooter like myself would tell you, if you guys didn't watch the video, sharpshooter Walzak. I'm kidding, but as a
LA Fitness legend,
dude, I am legend. I had a game winner today earlier. Bang. 2 from the corner.
Bang!
Called it during the shot. Game time.
Did Jay write it? Bang. No, it matters. And to Cottrell's point, too, I'll tell you right now, the 2 hottest teams in the Big Ten are Iowa and Purdue. And, I mean, you throw Illinois in there, too. But, I mean, the 2 or the 3 and 4 seeds are – Purdue is quietly snuck back up on everybody. I think they've won 7 or 8 in a row. And my biggest concern with Iowa is they just don't play defense.
I have the no doubt about winner of the Big Ten tournament. No doubt about. 100% winner of the Big Ten tournament. And it's the fans. Watch that tournament. Listen, you can laugh all you want. That's going to be the best tournament by far. That might even be better than the NCAA bracket. Probably not. But my point being is this is by far the best conference tournament. I'll take a field bet versus Michigan because that's how many good teams are in the Big Ten. Not saying anything bad about Michigan. Michigan's a very, very good team. I think they're the 3rd best team in the country. I don't think there's any doubt there either.
I don't think there's any team I wouldn't take a field bet against.
Obviously in the Big Ten tournament.
That's what I mean. In the Big Ten, I don't think there's any team you could put they're going to win.
I would take a field bet versus Baylor. I'll take Baylor. I would.
I'd be more likely to agree with you on that.
I'll also take Gonzaga versus the field. I'm kidding.
Okay, I'm in for that.
Talking about in their conference tournament.
What's over? So,
yeah, I know. That was the point.
Looks like you won.
Boom. Raise the roof. Don't forget. So I'll take the field. I can't pick. Let me try to pick a winner. I've given Illinois so much hate. I can't pick them. Ohio State is a sinking ship. I can't pick them. Iowa or Michigan. I already said I would take the field. I guess I go Iowa. I guess. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be a really good tournament, and Michigan will probably win it. But there's too many teams they have to get through for me to think that you taking the field wouldn't be the best bet.
Ohio State got a cupcake first round.
Yep, sure did.
Wow.
Michigan for first round.
They'll get the winner. Well, they have 2.
So
buys.
They have the way better first round.
They have 2 buys.
Exactly. They're going to buy.
They're probably going to get Michigan State, and Michigan State's going to give them all they can handle.
Michigan State, Maryland is the 8-9 game. They get the winner of that game.
So I get Michigan State.
And if they win that, they get the winner of most likely Ohio State and Purdue.
Dude, Shally's the man for this. Shally has the brackets ready, the whole Big 10 bracket, Big 12 bracket. I'm sitting here I really like the way Baylor plays basketball, but
show prep, baby.
Dude, his show prep is second to none. Alrighty, any more comments on the conference tournament previews?
Just to kind of piggyback on what you said, I think everybody wins this year. I was heartbroken when they canceled the tournament next year.
Yes,
it is
the best tournament ever.
I'm telling you right now, up there with for me. It's a top 5 thing for me. It is other than the Super Bowl probably, and I would say there's years I look forward to I have more fun watching the tournament than I do the Super Bowl.
Dude, Friday we're going. The first Friday we're going live.
Yeah,
we're going live. I'll have one of my buddies with me. You two will be there. Obviously, we're going to Chicky and Pete's, and we're going to watch the.
Anybody wants to come hang out and watch all day with us?
That's exactly. I'm taking day off. Just a Friday. Just a Friday, buddy. Please don't fire me. I'm kidding.
I'm just happy that these kids are gonna have a chance to play for a championship. There's gonna be fans there. It's good for college basketball.
Real quick, just for fun, because the tournament will almost be here, and we're going to start taking brackets and things like that. $10, I'll put that up for Venmo. Everybody better get in this. Come on, guys. Everybody better buy at least one bracket. Buy as many as you want. They're $10 a bracket. We'll do a wire-to-wire.
Did we announce the prize last week?
No, it's going to be a jersey of your choice. I'm thinking that we go with that.
I say we do, with the jersey, any professional sports team, customize however you want it, whatever player you want, and then throw in a hoodie, too.
Yeah, we'll do a wire-to-wire hoodie and any jersey you choose.
So $10.
Just can't be like, hey, find me the Gordie House signed jersey. Like, you're not getting that.
There's no autograph memorabilia.
Okay.
But we will get, and it won't be like a knockoff one. Like if you
we'll get a real jersey. We're gonna cheap you out.
Yeah, so whatever hockey, NFL, basketball, whatever you want, whatever player, we will get you an authentic.
And we can't win, so there will be a winner.
Yeah, there will be a winner.
Even though I'll have the best bracket, we cannot win.
Not if you pick Gonzaga to win it.
That's 64 points. You're taking out of your pocket right there.
So here's my here's
Better
the last thing I want to do with college basketball for move forward, just for fun.
All right.
And I didn't give these guys any prep for this.
Oh,
nope.
God.
Give me every team that can go on a run, any team that can go on a run and win the national championship. Let's see how many teams you get up to.
All right, I'll go first. I'll give you time to think, Joe. I'm a nice guy. Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, West Virginia.
That's 7.
That have like a legit shot to win it.
Yeah, I want to
not Final Four, like legit shot can win the whole tournament.
Legit shot can win the whole tournament.
That really might be it for me.
You skipped on over Ohio State. He's thinking about it
because they're like right on like the border of what I think they can do. If they play like they played a month ago, can they win 5 games in a row? Absolutely. Can they get knocked down the second round the way they're playing right now? Absolutely.
Is that your 7?
I would probably throw Ohio State in there.
That's 8.
Anyone
else?
Somebody from the Big East? No.
Bama got a shot. Trying to get him to get to 10. I'm trying.
Houston has a shot. I know you think Houston has a shot.
Houston definitely has a shot, and I disagree with him if he doesn't have Houston on.
No,
I feel like he will.
I was going through the big conference. Houston's absolutely on. I've been talking about
That's
Houston.
9.
I've been talking about Houston all year.
Okay, we got 9.
Villanova has no shot now.
None.
Unfortunately, they're also like 2 best players. I don't think Alabama can win. I just don't think they can win 5 games in a row.
So you have 9 teams.
I would say, yeah. And if I probably really looked at it, there might be like one more, but there's no more than 10.
Chicago, Loyola. I'm just kidding.
I love. I guarantee. I'll bet you money they make Sweet 16.
Okay, well, it really depends on who if they're in an 8-9 game and they have to play a 1 seed. I don't agree with you.
They're not going to be an 8 or 9 seed, but I think they'll win 2 games.
Where do you think they end up? Because they're projected an 8-9 right now.
A lot of it's going to depend on.
That's what I'm saying. If they I can't say that right now. If they're in an 8-9 game or a 7-10 game and they got to go into 1 or 2 in the second round, I don't agree with you.
Well, since Gonzaga, then I'll stick with my bet.
Gonzaga over Loyola, I'll take. You'll take.
Yeah, no shit. They're gonna be a 15-point favorite, if not more.
That's my point. Okay, so Cottrell, give me every team that you think can win the national championship.
Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, Michigan, Iowa, Houston, 6, Ohio State,
7,
West Virginia,
8,
Texas.
Ooh, Texas.
I like Texas more than I like Kansas.
This is
Problem is those guys being out with COVID. Once they get back, you don't know how they're going to play with them, how they're going to get them back in the rotation. And I've seen Texas play at their best, and they can hang with Baylor. The problem is they're inconsistent. But I think if Texas is at their best throughout the whole tournament, I definitely think they have a chance to
That's
win
my problem with
win
Texas.
the whole thing.
I don't think there's nothing I've seen all year that tells me Texas is going to play their best for 5 games.
No,
in a row.
I probably would tend to agree with you, but when I think of teams that have a chance, I'm thinking of like the people that I listed. I think if they all play their A game throughout the whole tournament, they can win the national championship. And I think if Texas is there, they can do that.
I agree with that, but I pick teams that have consistently played at like a good level for the majority of the year. I mean, they are kids; they're all going to have bad games.
I got you.
Texas doesn't fit the second part of that.
I have a lower number than most of you guys do, because when I say legit chance to win the national tournament, I really think that a few of the teams that you guys put on your list don't have a legit chance of winning.
Okay, go ahead.
I have Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Houston, Iowa. I'm missing one. I had 6. Who am I missing?
Illinois, West Virginia,
West Virginia, Illinois,
Ohio State.
I didn't say Ohio State.
No,
Ohio State. That's the 6th.
Do you think
They're-
Ohio State has a better chance of winning over West Virginia or Illinois?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Ohio State can play. I seen at their peak. I
They're
think they're a better team at their peak.
Very good basketball team.
So my point is, when I watch, and I hate on Illinois way too much, and I shouldn't do that.
I think we kind of all have, to be honest.
But my point is, when I watch Illinois at their best, and what their best was the night they beat Michigan at Michigan, and I watch Ohio State at their best, I think Ohio State's a better basketball team at their best. So, like, I don't think Illinois can win 5 games and play like their peak just isn't better than most. Mine's low. I get it. I have 6. If any team outside that 6 win, I would be shocked. Shocked.
The other thing that we have to take into account is that I would hate for it to happen.
COVID.
But if a situation like COVID happened and these players are missing 1 to 2 key either starters or, significant role players, that changes the field.
It does. It changes it.
If Texas is going up against the Baylor team or Illinois is going up against what was another team that you left off? You said you didn't have West Virginia.
I didn't have West Virginia.
If Gonzaga is going up against West Virginia and they don't have one of their starters. Well, Jalen Suggs, that'd be a gimme, but
that's doomed.
Another one of their starters. I mean, Gonzaga only runs 7 people, so if they're missing one of their key guys, it's going to be tough to beat the top talent.
There's a few teams. Gonzaga is one of them. I'm not picking on them, but they play 2 bench kids. Really, that's it.
That's it.
West Virginia's not
the
terribly
only fear
deep.
I have with Gonzaga is one of their main players getting in serious foul trouble, and that happens a lot in the tournament because you don't normally get the same officiating crews that you get during the regular season.
Like you're gonna have.
That's the problem. That only issue I have with Gonzaga is if like somebody like Suggs gets into foul trouble.
Anything happens to Suggs, that team is done.
I agree. Who's that? What's the guy? I keep forgetting the kid's name. The guy shoots unconscious when he's on. What's his name? Help me out, please. Help me out.
Starts with a P, I think, or like
it's definitely not like an ordinary name. It drives me nuts. He's really good. He's a top 10 prospect.
Pressburg or whatever that was name.
Yeah,
was.
whatever. He went nuts in the second half.
Corey Kispert.
That's it. Close. Pressburg.
I think he it's another one. If he gets in foul trouble or has a really bad shooting night, I think they're in a lot of trouble because I don't think Suggs can carry him by himself.
My other big issue with Gonzaga is if they play a team with a good big, they're in trouble. If there's a team that can if they run into like Iowa, like.
Yeah, but Garza's like not like he's like a modern day big.
No, he can play.
He is, but he can play. He can play paint.
He can, but
he's with that Tilly guy, or whatever his name. He's gonna kill
honestly.
him.
If Michigan plays Gonzaga, their big is gonna give them problems.
Hunter's really good.
Yeah, he's gonna. And I hate to say that, but I like if they're on the same side of the.
You guys have such a bromance. It's so fun watching it. It's so fun watching it. Michigan, Ohio State, guys. I really thought I was going to sit between them to make sure I don't watch them get in a fist fight, and they've developed such a bromance. It's so fun.
Well,
like you should see our group chats. I want to screenshot some of them. No, I agree with Bill. Come on, dude, stop.
Football was subdued because we sucked. I mean, so there really wasn't the animosity there.
We all rooted for Cleveland just because of Cottrell, up until the fact that I thought they were going to lose Kansas City.
I mean,
I rooted for Cleveland.
You didn't say you said we're going to win a playoff game,
and I bet on them to win a playoff game. A ton of money.
But you said they weren't though.
I didn't think they would run into aging Ben Roethlisberger. That's not 95 years old in the rocker. But regardless, they played Kansas City a hell of a game. I can't give them. I gotta give them credit. And I think they're only going to get better. I told you their windows next year. I did. Did I not? Did I not say they were going to be great next year? I said that the second year under that coach are going to be even better. All right. It's close to 10 o'clock. Let's get into our baseball list. I really want to get into our baseball list. Our third base list is so much more fun than the last few lists we've had. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you? I'm done. Can't do that. You're like sued for that.
I probably will, but then we're going to have to pay somebody something.
I don't have that much money. You're fine.
Michael Buffer.
All right, so we have the third base list. This is going to be such a fun list. I think that a lot of third basemen. I don't think we have the same list. Now, one of the cool things that we do is we don't really go over our list with the other two. And the reason we don't do that is we want to have like a surprise, kind of like a shock and awe. Like you can look at our facial expressions, hear our tone of voice when someone says something we think is a little bit outlandish. If you have your third base list, post it on the wire line. I hope Petey's out there, Hackney's out there, Jeff Perone's out there. A lot of our baseball guys hop on the wire line, post that stuff, and let's get into it. Number 10. Let's start with Kittrell this week.
So I had a hard time picking my 10 this week. There was a lot of guys who were in consideration for it. So I ended up just going with the guy who I thought had the most upside and who I've seen do it before. So I went with Chris Bryant.
Okay. Bill?
He is not on my list.
He's not on my list either.
He
I think he's fell off.
He was barely on my list, but like I said, he was the guy who I thought could have the best year of the people who I had left. So I was like, you know what? I'll go Chris.
I really thought he was going to go there. Are you going there?
It's crazy to think that like Chris Bryant might have peaked already as like a Major League Baseball player.
I think he did too.
That's just a wild thought. I have Alex Bohm at number 10.
I also have Philadelphia Phillies zone. That's a little homer pick. Alex Bohm at 10. I think actually here. All right, so it might be a homer pick, but I truly believe that this time next year when we're doing these lists, he'll be top 7.
Agree. I think he's minus Bryce Harper. I mean, he's definitely the best young player we have. He might end up being the second best player on this
about
team this
5
year.
behind JT.
I don't know, dude. Girardi loves putting JT in that 2-hole, so
I know.
I don't know.
I think they just need to protect each other's bats. Bryce, JT, and Bohm. I think they should be back to back to back.
Well, you have Didi too.
Yeah, you're a good point. Didi normally bats 4 for them.
I would put Bohm. I see it's tough. You're putting a lot of pressure on him batting. Well, I don't know if they're gonna put Reese too. So it does. I don't know. He bats Reese too a lot too. So and that drives me up a goddamn wall. So
you're the biggest Reese fan here. I know.
I mean, he does
Not
get
a
on
huge Reese
base,
fan.
but I don't know. Problem is JT's really not. Bryce has to be your 3-hole hitter. I mean, you could bat JT 4, but I mean, then you're pushing either. You can't push Bohm to 6 because you have to put somebody behind him probably, like Didi, to protect him a little bit. But then you can't have Didi batting 6. Like he's too good of a hitter you need to get more bats every game. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
I think Didi batting 6 is the best case scenario, in my opinion. But
let's
let's get into number 9. Let's not take. I don't want to say this out loud. Okay, you go no first. Then
What are you gonna say?
My number 9. I hate the player.
Rafael Devers is my number 9.
Ooh, he's not on my list either.
Kittrell bringing the fire list this week.
He's got the loners over there.
I like him.
I went Eugenio Suarez from Cincinnati. I think he's gonna take a little bit more of a jump. He had a good year last year.
Suarez was my 11.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll jump again a little bit this year.
Here's who I didn't want to say. I don't know why I hate this guy so much.
Okay.
Josh Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have him 9. I really don't like him.
I feel like he'd be like a really cool guy to go have like a beer with.
Maybe.
Like 30.
Give me number 8.
My number 8 is the former Cleveland Indian, Josh Donaldson.
Ugh.
I have Justin Turner, number 8.
Whoa, that's low for Turner.
He's aging. He's starting to decline.
Okay. I got Gio. Urshela from the Yankees, obviously.
Okay.
Who's your 7?
My 7 is Justin Turner.
I think you guys both have him low.
I have Donaldson 7.
I think you have him high.
Mhm.
I got Chapman 7.
So you have Turner over Chapman then somewhere.
I do.
All right.
I do. Who's your 6?
Matt Chapman.
That's fine. I mean, you switch them out.
Right.
I can see Chapman and Turner. That's very arguable. I couldn't see him 8, though.
Turner's a little bit of a better hitter. Defensively, it's not even close.
Okay.
I have Chapman 6.
We're right there. All right, top 5. I think the top 5 shouldn't be changed. I think the top 5 are the top 5. No matter what order you have them in, I can see someone being 5 being 1, someone being 2 being 4. I don't think that this list is anywhere near like some of our lists where there was like a huge gap. The top 5 are the top 5.
I think the top 5 are the top 5, but I think there's only. I wouldn't say any one of the 5 can be one. I disagree.
All
with
5
that.
of them can win MVP this year. All 5.
I don't agree with that either.
Okay,
I think 4 of the 5 could.
Okay, so we'll get into which ones can't. But when you get to them, tell me the one you don't think can. I guess it would be your 5.
Nope.
Okay, so who's your 5?
Manny Machado.
I have Bregman.
I have Bregman 5 too, and it's just a hater thing. I don't think Bregman's the 5th best player. But I hate him.
Part of it's the hater thing for me. Part of it, you saw his numbers dip last year too. And again, I'm very curious to see how him and Altuve handle everything this year with fans back in the stands.
So you think he doesn't have a chance to win MVP?
I do not.
Do you know he's 2nd in MVP odds in the AL?
That's fine.
I'm just being clear.
Okay. I mean, they're odds for what is he plus what?
1,000.
Okay, so he's a 10-1 favorite.
Yeah, well, Trout's 7-1 or 6-1.
Okay. If Trout
It's
stays
not like
healthy
it's-
and plays, he's going to win.
Okay, I think Bregman could win MVP. He's 2nd in vote.
Okay.
Or
Well,
second
you
in
told me to say the
odds.
one that I didn't think so, and that he's the one I don't think can.
That's fair. Who's the one you don't think can?
My 4, Alex Bregman.
Okay, so both of you guys don't think Bregman can win it.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so if we're saying that, then I think all 5 can, because if Bregman's got the 2nd best voting odds, there's got to be something there.
They haven't played a game yet, dude. I mean, he
Yeah, well,
hit 240
when you bet,
again.
when
and
you
then
bet
he's-
on
he's
when you
gonna
bet
be
on MVP odds, you normally bet on it before the season.
plus 22,000 in
Just
in a
FYI.
month. I have Machado 4.
I really wanted to put this guy higher. I kind of chickened out, and we all have him in the same spot. I have Machado 4 also. You have him 5, actually. I have Machado 4. I think Machado is going to be 2nd in the MVP voting in the National League this year. I really believe that. I think Manny Machado is going to have a great year, and I think he's going to outshine the young kid at short.
So you think he's going to – you had Soto win it, right?
I have Soto winning.
And then
yes.
you think he's going to beat Mookie Betts?
Yes.
And
I cannot
Interesting.
wait to get to the outfield list because there's no shot the 3 of us have the same list for that
That's
outfield
interesting.
list.
None.
It's just number 1, maybe. That's it.
Well,
Unless
number
you have
1,
Soto
yes.
won.
What?
N-
Oh,
What?
all right.
What?
Kidding.
No,
We'll get into
Oh, okay. Okay. All
Well,
right. My
Bill sounds like a curmudgeon when he gets upset.
my 3,
Yeah.
my guy from Cleveland, Jose Ramirez.
You didn't go Homer Simpson on this. I thought you were going to go Homer Simpson.
I did too, actually. I was kind of waiting for it.
I really wanted to put J-Ram 2, but the fact that they got rid of his boy Frankie, and I feel like his numbers are going to see a slight dip. Nothing major because, you know, J-Ram's still a great player. But without having Frankie in the lineup, there's really – I have no clue in what direction that Indians team is or that baseball team is going. I don't know what they're doing with their
They're
name.
calling
I don't
the
know
Indians
what they're doing with their roster. I don't know what they're doing with their pitching staff. Like, have
Are we
absolutely
calling them
no
the Cleveland
clue.
baseball team?
No, they're the Indians for next year, but
next
I'm just
year.
saying, you know, they're going to be
it's
an unknown.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, they're going to have to put somebody around him because if not, I mean,
He's
it
gone
could be
too.
that year that they just pitch around him.
Exactly.
Which is why having him 3 is probably smart.
Yeah.
Who's your 3, Bill?
Ramirez is 3 for me.
Okay, so I have J-Ram 3 too, but let me talk about J-Ram for a minute. You're talking about a guy that's improved for 5 straight years. Improved. J-Ram could be 1 on this list. I'm telling you that right now. If he had the right situation and the right surroundings, I could easily put him 1. He's been top 4 in the MVP voting for 3 straight years. Very, very, very good player. J-Ram's 3 for me.
Question just got put up. Who wins the home run crown this year?
Oof.
I have to think about that. I can't.
I
I can't.
I was literally trying to think, and I'm like, I don't know.
I have to think about that. I think it's going to be a slugger this year. I don't think it'll be a great player. I think it'll be a slugger.
You've
Like,
obvious
P. Alonso won it the 1 year. Like, I think it'll be something like that.
you've obvious choices, but it's I mean, State and Judge will both be there, but do they stay healthy? I mean, neither one of them can stay healthy.
Hackney replied and said Suarez. It's possible.
It's possible.
Juan Soto could win it too. All right. Give me your number 2.
You love Juan Soto.
He's a very good player. He's going to have a great year. Mark it down. Put it in the bag.
My number 2 is Anthony Rendon.
And you have?
Rendon.
Yes, I knew that because we talked about that one because I asked if anybody didn't have. So I have Arenado 2, not Rendon. And I have Rendon 1. And I'll because I know you guys will get into your ones in a minute. I'm pretty sure they're both Arenado. Here's how I put Rendon over Arenado. I know I'm going to get heat for this. For a lot of people that have commented already, it's got to be Arenado. I don't agree. Anthony Rendon has the playoff pedigree. Anthony Rendon has got the clutch pedigree. Anthony Rendon is going to play in a lineup where he's going to see a lot of pitches batting behind Mike Trout. I think that Anthony Rendon is going to have a great year. I think that he's very good defensively. He's not Arenado defensively. But Arenado, I think, will have a dip in numbers this year. Even him batting with Goldschmidt, he's not batting in that ballpark this year for 82 games. 81 games, whatever.
His home road splits aren't as bad as you think they are.
They're not bad. They're just not, like, his road splits are obviously a dip. It's like 30 points batting average. I've looked at this.
That's almost everybody, though. It's very rare you see a superstar like that level type player that hits better on the road than they do at home.
I want to see it, and I want to see it in the
That's
playoffs, and I want to see it. I want to see Arenado show me more than what he's
Rendon
doing.
won't do it in the playoffs.
Why won't he?
Them not making the playoffs was not Arenado's fault.
I'm saying because the Angels won't either.
Oh, I was going to say because he had a I thought you meant like he's not
No, I'm
clutch.
saying like now.
I almost lost
now.
it.
Like now.
Yeah, I think the Angels are really gonna vie for that wild card spot.
I mean, I think it's
I agree,
possible.
actually.
They got the talent too, but
You're gonna have Trout, Rendon, and Ohtani back to back to back.
Yep.
It's a very, very good 2-3-4, 1-2-3, whatever you
Well,
want.
no,
To play.
you're gonna Fletcher up top, so
Yeah. So,
very true.
man,
with that, it's gonna come down to pitching. I do think they will vie. I mean, you have to look at. I mean, Houston got drastically worse. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a good year.
Hackney on the wire line said we're crazy that Bregman's the best third baseman. Hackney, do me a favor. I'm not gonna have you call in, but I want you to write why. What he is better at? Is he better defensively than Arenado?
No.
Is he better offensively than Rendon? And the answer is no on both ends. And I'm sorry, he's not better than both. I'm a little bit of a hater. What?
Or J-Ram.
Or J-Ram. I agree. A little bit of a hater on him. I get it. Bregman could be 4. He could be 3. But I
think Bregman benefited a lot from also
cheating,
and then also he also got a real cush.
Throw that one in there.
He got a real cush spot in that lineup. And put up big numbers for a couple years with all those guys. Like you don't have Springer anymore. The top of that lineup.
Is Brantley go back?
Brantley's there. Brantley resigned. He almost left. Like it was actually reported that he was leaving to go. I forget where. And then he ended up signing. I think he signed a 2-year deal with Houston to stay there.
Also, why I have everybody on the wire line? Let me do a shameless plug real quick. Guys, do me a favor. Every platform that you can download our episodes, it tremendously helps us. We're in talks with a couple really, really big situations that we could really blow up off of, and I really need your help. So if you can do me a favor, go on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any platform, and download our stuff, it helps us. Our unique downloads need to go up. Share our page on Facebook. Share more views, the better. We need more. I appreciate the support so far. I promise you, it's not in vain. We are going to blow up, and we will remember every single one of you guys for all the support you give. Needed to say that real quick, guys, before we got into our GOAT list. Anything else, MLB?
No.
Mike, get the GOAT list ready, please.
Next week is going to be fun, and the week after that's going to be the outfield one's going to be the best one. Like I said, I don't think anybody will walk in here with anybody in the same order except for
1 and 2. We should have the same.
I'm
1 and
dead
2.
serious when I say this. I'm debating on having Trout 3.
Then
I'm dead serious.
Really?
No, you're not.
No,
I
you're
swear
not.
to you, I am.
Okay.
For this year, yes, I'm debating on having Trout 3.
So you just said Rendon's going to have a great year. Him having a great year would be like precedent on Trout having a very good year in front of him.
I'm really, guys, I loved Mike Trout, and Mike Trout.
If you're going to make an argument
I'm going to make an argument for 2 players above him, but you're going to have to tune in for it.
Wow, I already know who they are.
Yeah, I know who they are too, but
You-
the one I
just
maybe,
asinine.
but
There's
the other one
there's-
is no.
Yeah,
Well, I'll bet you one of them's not who you think it is. I have him 4.
4.
The person that you're talking about.
Oh man, I hope.
I
it's
do.
not-
Well, we'll
I
get
hope
into
it's
that.
not
Then
what I'm
obviously
thinking about.
Tune into that show because that show is going to
That might be
wild.
crazier than Rhonda. You beating Rhonda.
I'm telling you, and we're talking about this year. We're talking about 2021, and
Okay.
I got
He's the
strong
best-
feel. I have strong feelings on it, and I don't want to come off as a Mike Trout hater. I love Mike Trout. I followed his entire career. I want him to be a Philly so badly.
He's the best player on the planet.
I agree. I think he is the best player on the planet
Then how
for,
can he
for
not be
this
number
year.
one?
Because this year, I don't think he'll be number 1 this year.
So the guy's finished top 5 in MVP voting every year he's been in the league, and should have
guess we're gonna have to watch this season.
All right. I can't wait. I'm excited now.
Okay.
I need a time machine.
All right. So yeah, well, it's 2 weeks from now, guys. Tune in. Tune in 2 weeks from now for our outfit list. Next week's shortstop list. Anything else MLB you guys want to touch on?
No,
I love dropping
I
little
really
heaters
want to
like
just
that.
do outfield like right now.
like
but
right now.
No, can't do it. It's a teaser. All right, so we got time to do this GOAT list.
we can go through it. Like
we
the
can
whole
probably
thing.
nah, probably not the whole thing. Let's go through half of it. We'll do half this week, half
What
next week.
side do you want to do?
Pull up the GOAT list. I want to read it off to everyone at home because if you're listening on the podcast, you might not see it. If you're watching on Facebook, this is the GOAT list. Every sport. We even got hot dog eaters on here.
Disclaimer: we didn't make this list.
We didn't. However, we're going to pick it because it looks really fun. All right, so on the left side of bracket, your overall number 1 seed, you got Michael Jordan versus Pablo Sanchez.
Pablo Sanchez. Some people might not know who that is.
Okay.
You don't know who that is?
I do. I said some people might
okay.
not.
Gotcha.
Well, explain for the listeners at home, Bill.
You ever played the game Backyard Baseball that came out like way back in the day? He was like the kid in the neighborhood that like, if you got him on your team, like he just hit a home run every time. Like you couldn't beat his team. Like it was
the
impossible.
other thing is that like it wasn't just baseball. If you got him in backyard basketball,
Yeah.
you got him in backyard football. Like he was
just that kid in the
he-
neighborhood
he-
that was better.
He was
at
the
everything.
goat of the backyard
Yeah.
games, you could say.
I got a better idea. Instead of doing the whole bracket, why don't we just pick the first round this week and then do the
on
next
both
round?
sides.
Yep.
Okay, that's fair. That's
All
All
cool.
right. So
All
for
right.
the second, so let's just do it one by one. Obviously, we all have Michael over. We don't really have to get into that one, right? We all have Michael over Pablo Sanchez.
Correct.
We good with that?
Yes.
So Michael over Pablo Sanchez is your 1 versus 16. Messi over Ronaldo is your 8-9. LeBron
Wait,
James
wait.
is your 5. Usain Bolt is your 12. Roger Federer is your 13. Wayne Gretzky is your 4. Tiger Woods is your 3. Simone Biles is your 14. Michael Phelps is your 11. Muhammad Ali is your 6. Serena Williams is your 7. Babe Ruth is your 10. Joey Chestnut, the hot dog eater, number 15. And Tom Brady is your 2 on the right side. So we're going to do the first round, and we'll leave you guys with a Final Four that we'll finish next week. And there'll obviously be more debates on that Final Four. So we're going to take a little bit more time.
Next week will be the Elite 8 then.
It'll be a Final Four.
So we're going 2 rounds then.
Let's do 2 rounds.
Okay.
Okay.
Just change it by the second.
Michael Jordan's an easy one.
Yep.
Let's get into Messi versus Ronaldo. Because obviously, Cottrell wearing the Messi jersey is going to go Messi, right? So we'll start with Bill.
No, that's not the case.
Oh, go ahead, buddy.
I love Messi. I love the jersey. You know, Argentina, they have a nice kit, but Ronaldo is my soccer goat. So I'm going to go with Ronaldo taking the cake in that one.
Okay, so he wore the Messi jersey knowing we would go over this and picked Ronaldo. Great job,
I'm
Cottrell.
like Lee Corso, you know? What?
What?
Just got to take it off. And
Not so fast, my friend.
All righty. Bill, who do you got in Messi, Ronaldo?
Ronaldo for me.
We all agree I don't need to get too far into that one.
No.
Okay. Next one, LeBron James, Cleveland zone, Akron zone. LeBron James versus Usain Bolt. And I will tell you right now, this is a 12-5 matchup for college basketball, my friends. And the 12 sometimes upsets the 5. This has an opportunity for an upset on someone's bracket.
It definitely.
We're going to go 2 out of 3, guys. So this is the way we're going to do this. If 2 of us pick someone, that's going to be who advances.
All right.
Cottrell,
This
are we
was-
going with Akron zone?
This was definitely, if not the toughest, it was probably the second toughest one up there for me. I got to go with LeBron. It was very close, but I'm going to roll with LeBron in that one.
Okay.
You want to do it or you want me to be deciding vote? What do you want to do?
I need you to tell me who it is.
So for me, when I did this, my big thing is a part of what I value is, are you actually the best in your sport? I'm on record. I think Jordan's better. So for me, I'm taking Usain Bolt. He's the best sprinter in the history of the Olympics. LeBron James is not even the best basketball player on the list. So I'm going Usain Bolt.
This one right here has given me nightmares. I've stayed up. I'm dead serious, bro. Like, I've looked at this bracket. I went back and forth. I said LeBron. I said Usain Bolt. I'm not kidding with you. This is an overtime buzzer beater.
This is one of the 3 tough months for me.
This is the toughest one to me. Because of the impact and how great of a human being he is and how much he's meant to the sport of basketball, I'm going with LeBron James. In a very narrow buzzer beater, half quarter, Evan Turner, like Ohio State, like that's how close it is.
Discredited. I mean, Usain Bolt does a lot of charity shit too.
Subtle dig at you, Bill.
It's fine.
Ohio State beat Michigan.
That's fine. I mean, yeah.
All right, so
George
I think
Washington
the
was
next one.
300 years ago too.
So who we going with in the Roger Federer versus Wayne Gretzky?
That one's not tough, but Roger Federer is really good at what he does. The problem is that Nadal stopped him from being in that conversation for me, so I'll go with Gretzky on that one.
You're correct, sir.
This is a tough draw for Roger Federer. The other thing is kind of why I picked against LeBron and picking against Federer. Him and Nadal are tied, and Djokovic is probably going to pass both of them. So we did this like next year. Djokovic is probably on this list and not Federer. And Gretzky is Gretzky. He's the best hockey player to ever step foot on this planet. So it's Wayne Gretzky for me.
To me, this is not even a comparison. I'm going Wayne Gretzky. And I love Roger Federer is a very great, but I can name you 3 tennis players that I could argue over him. So I'm going to go with Wayne Gretzky.
What are your 3?
I can argue Rafael Nadal.
Okay.
I can argue John McEnroe, and I can
argue John McEnroe.
And I can argue Pete Sampras.
You can't argue either one of those.
I can.
You can. It's just, you're so far off base. It's unbelievable.
Tiger Woods versus Simone Biles in the 3 versus 14 matchup. Who you going with, Cottrell?
Tiger Woods.
Simone Biles.
I'm going with Simone Biles also. In the biggest upset of the first round, Simone Biles. I think Tiger Woods isn't the best golfer of all time. I just need to be clear there. I think that he was on pace to do that, and he had every opportunity to do that, and he just completely fell off.
And now he just doesn't know how to drive SUVs.
His career isn't. I mean, yeah, it's not looking great for him, but his career's not over yet completely. But that car accident definitely set him back a mile.
I gotta go. And hold on, I'm just trying to understand who's the jockey on this list.
What?
The jockey?
Yeah, because Chris Hackney on the Wireline said you have a jockey on this list, but not.
No, that's Chris Hackney thinking somebody on that list is a jockey.
That's the funniest part. That's why I set it up. You have jockey, but no Mayweather. Midget ride horses versus combat warrior.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Oh, man.
Do you think it's Papa
Hackney's
Sanchez?
I guess so, maybe.
Or maybe Joey Chet. I mean, who else would you possibly confuse with a jockey?
I don't know.
My only thing not even against, but with Simone Biles is that yes, she's won at every event, but Olympics wise, she was only great in the one. So
that's not true.
What
she has more Olympic medals than any U.S. gymnast ever.
How many does she have?
A lot. She's the greatest U.S. gymnast ever.
Olympic Games, she has 4 medals, and they all came in 2016.
That's a lot for a gymnast.
It is, but I'm saying it was one.
You could only win 5.
But I'm saying it was one. It's only been one.
Plus her world
Olympics.
championships. She's really good.
Of course.
Again, to me, it boils down to simple. She's clearly the best gymnast ever. Tiger Woods is not the best golfer ever.
That's fair.
The fact that
you've argued that on every point, so I mean,
yeah.
I can agree with that.
Jack Nicklaus actually might be the biggest omission on this list.
I agree. That's a fair. I agree. I'd stop agreeing with Charlie. This is an argument. I'm not getting into it. Michael, can I go first on this one? Because I know what you guys are.
Yeah, go
Michael
ahead.
Phelps versus Muhammad Ali. I know I'm getting washed out on this one because we already talked about it. I'm going Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali fought everybody, went through everything. Muhammad Ali was someone that could walk down his impact on the world. I'm going Muhammad Ali on this one. Cottrell, I'll go to you.
Yeah, all that is great. Muhammad Ali was great.
Just say it. Let's go.
Michael Phelps won 8 Olympic gold medals in the same Olympics, and then he won 23 total. I'm going with Michael Phelps.
I get it.
It's Michael Phelps.
All right, so can you do me a favor and throw something up on the wire line? Jeff Perone had a great comment. It's from Christy Perone.
That's why it's great.
It's awesome. I think I don't know if we can fit the whole thing on there. It's a lot. I'll read it. The bias against Simone Biles is real here. She literally came up with her own moves that were so much harder than what anybody else could do. They had to tell her to stop doing them because it wasn't fair to others.
It's true.
That is a fact.
She had a
scientific fact.
She had a vault, and she had a
That vault is crazy.
A move of the beam that it actually was higher than. I only know all this stuff because I dated a gymnast for 6 years, but there's certain things within any kind of routine.
Was she flexible?
Yes, she was.
Just checking.
There's
sorry, that's
you get like you add up and you get like a total of what your degree of difficulty was. The things that she was doing, the components added up to be too high of a score. Like that, if she would have hit it, like nobody could beat her.
Yeah.
So they were like, you can't do it anymore.
Listen, throw the GOAT list back up for me. I'm sorry. So I got outvoted here for Muhammad Ali. It's the only one I've got outvoted for so far. Serena Williams versus Babe Ruth. I think this should be a laydown. Go ahead, Control.
This was the tough one for me.
This is not tough for me.
Serena Williams.
Based on your, you want to be
wait. Hold on.
I know what you're gonna say, and that's why this is tough for me because you can make the argument that he is versus she definitely is. I think baseball's a way harder sport.
I got news for you.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a 90-minute show.
We know you love baseball, but pick the winner.
I'll go ahead.
I say if I'm just gonna stick with Babe because I know you're going with Serena, so I'll go that way. It's not,
I'm going Serena,
and I'm fine with Serena winning.
And I just don't. I think there's 3 baseball players you can make an argument for over Babe Ruth. I don't think he's the best hitter. I don't think he's the best fielder. And
definitely make an argument he's the best hitter.
Ted Williams better hitter.
Better hitter, like pure hitter.
Correct. Ted Williams better hitter.
Better power hitter.
And then we all have Tom Brady over Joey Chestnut, right? I don't take hot dog eating that serious.
Yeah, I agree.
You have Joey Chestnut?
No, I have Tom Brady, but Joey Chestnut is. I mean, he hasn't been beat ever.
Yeah,
like, it's
cool.
He hasn't been bet. Yeah,
I
don't think he's.
He
lost.
does. He eats hot. Yeah,
No, he eats a lot of stuff. He hasn't lost in anything.
I get it.
Like
he is,
4 or 5 years.
He is incredible.
It is thing. I just randomly saw it. He ate like 4 pounds of ravioli in like 4 minutes. It was disgusting.
All right, because it's 10:25, we're gonna stop. We're gonna do the Elite 8 next week.
Jesus,
and the Final
she
Fours.
flip flopped on this like 3 times.
I did. We just can't. It's just not gonna. Time constrictions. We will get into this list more. I want to hear your opinions on the wire line. I want to hear your opinions on our Facebook page. Give me an admission, somebody that you think should have been on the list that wasn't, like Cockney with Floyd Mayweather, and give me where you think we got it wrong.
Would you put Floyd on that list over Muhammad Ali?
No,
I wouldn't either.
No,
I
think Mike Tyson finally said something smart in all of his years.
Oh, I wish we'll save that because that is literally verbatim to a T my issue with Floyd. Like, and the fact that it came out of Mike Tyson's mouth just makes it even funnier.
Michael Robert Lafferty said John Jones is an admission.
He's had
he's
had his issues, so I don't know if it's.
I just don't know if you could say he's the GOAT MMA fighter.
No, you can, and he is.
But it's not.
He's had his issues, so I understand why he wasn't on here.
You could argue too. Now he beats Stipe, and then it becomes a steeper argument.
Kevin David, honestly, and I love this comment because it's absolutely true.
Huh.
The greatest baseball player of all time was left off this list. Barry Bonds on steroids. There's nobody better.
Yeah, but he's on steroids. So
I know. That's why he's left off the list. I think it's funny. Let's get into You Gotta Be Kidding Me.
Who is your biggest omission, though?
I'm not. That's not my job.
I think it's Jack.
Jack's up there.
I'd
really have to sit down.
You put Michael and LeBron, but you put Tiger and not Jack. I think is
fair.
Wild.
You didn't have to put the. You could have put Jack in there instead of the video game guy.
Yeah, the backyard baseball, and then.
I mean, listen, he's just as dominant as anybody else on that list, though. And you couldn't get him out. Pablo went yaw over the brown fence every time he came up.
Yeah, Michael Robert laughed. He said, "I'm shocked Shelly went no NASCAR."
All
right.
I can't say NASCAR because the greatest guy ever took a right turn into a wall and killed himself. I don't even forgot where he was. I don't know.
Okay.
But no, it's still Richard Petty.
Cottrell, give me your you gotta be kidding me. This week.
So it's NBA based. My official you got to be kidding me is the All-Star weekend disaster that happened. But Myers Leonard, you got to be a little bit smarter than that, with streaming and everything. But you don't get all the heat this week. The NBA put on that All-Star Sunday. It wasn't even a weekend. All-Star Sunday where they got everybody together for that spectacle. After they said that they weren't going to do that at the beginning of the season, I know the NBA players agreed with it afterwards, but they said they weren't going to do it. And just because some players agree with it don't mean that the actual All-Stars in the game should have been forced to go down there and compete. With that said, the dunk contest was probably one of the weaker ones we've ever seen.
Worst ever.
The three-point contest, yeah, it was cool to see Steph win it, going up against Mike Conley. But all in all, the skills competition was also pretty weak. Domantas Sabonis winning it. Luka didn't even try. And then you got Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid missing the game because of a potential COVID interaction or whatever. And that could have cost so many guys. That could have put the NBA at a complete halt. Like, if you get the biggest stars in the game in that situation where they have to quarantine for 10 to 14 days, the NBA is on hold. And for the performance that we saw, the risk was not even close to worth the reward. Even if that game had been close, which it wasn't, Team LeBron won by 20. It wasn't worth having the game. So Adam Silver in the NBA.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Can I ask a serious question?
Yeah.
Why do they start doing this thing like when they get to the fourth quarter they go to the target score? Like why didn't that become a thing?
I liked it. It's so they stole that from TBT. It's a cool thing when the game is close. Like last year, they started playing hard, but when you're up by 20, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they coasted. That's my whole point. Like it literally took the fun of the fourth game. They're like, all right, like this. But nobody plays defense. Like you're not going to stop our team from scoring 20 points.
Last year was the way to do it, though. And if you have all your all-stars there, like Team Durant was down. They were down Joel and they were down Kevin Durant. Like that's two of their starters. So obviously you didn't think they were going to win. But if the game is actually competitive how it was last year, like last year I thought that was one of the better All-Star games.
I think it should be like a clause. If it's like, hey, like at the end of the third quarter, if it's within 10, then do it.
Okay.
But like I don't know. I mean, when it's a blowout, I think it's stupid.
It's new.
I was very disappointed with this year's All-Star game. I was one of the people that was for having it. I hated the All-Star Sunday. I think All-Star Saturday night is so much better when you have that separately. I think you lost a lot of people in the dunk competition for it.
The only thing I thought the three-point contest was great.
That was great.
That was the highlight for me.
I got to give Mike Conley all the credit in the world for hanging with him.
I mean, dude, last ball.
Yep.
Doesn't sink if Conley wins.
Shall I give me yours?
All right, mine's going to be more lighthearted this week. Spring training baseball is always fun. You always see a lot of guys get put into games. You have no idea who they are. They could be single A, double A, triple A guys, whatever. So Jose Siri comes into pinch run against the St. Louis Cardinals last week. Yadier Molina was still in the game catching. Takes a big lead. Yadier Molina throws behind him, tries to pick him off. Almost gets him. Jose Siri gets up, waves his finger at him like Dikembe Mutombo. Molina then proceeds pretty much to take his mask off and tell him to go. Points at second base, tells him to steal. And the dummy does it. He did it. He did it on a changeup, which is maybe curveball, depending if it's low. But changeup is the best pitch to steal a base on. It's the slowest pitch a pitcher's going to throw. And Molina threw him out by 10 feet. And then literally stared him down the entire walk into the dugout. I'm all for trying to make a name for yourself, trying to get your name out there, especially in spring training when you have 100 players in camp. You got to stand out to your coaches. That is not the way to go about doing it. You just can't run on Yadier Molina. He's still debatably the best defensive catcher in the game and of his generation. So this week for me, Jose Siri being dumb and trying to run, you got to be kidding me.
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Mine's a little bit more serious this week. And like, if anybody knows me, they know I'm like, I'm all right. So this week, mine's cancel culture and the whole thing with Pepe Le Pew. That drove me nuts. All right, like I'm one of the advocates in life that like a lot of things need to be removed that were wrong, that were just not. You know, like Walt Disney is a terrible human being. Like I know there's a lot of different things that need to be removed from different networks and movies and just things of that nature. The thing with Pepe Le Pew is it's an absolute joke. The female actress, and I should have known her name if I was going to bring this up, but the female actress that like they're removing him from everything at this point. They're making it like he's just some misogynistic male. Yeah, I mean like it's very similar to Baby It's Cold Outside without the video. But with Pepe Le Pew being removed and like having him removed from a ton of different things, like his part removed in the movie, it's an absolute joke that they do these things. And like I actually think it meant more to women's empowerment to show the response. If you don't know, Pepe Le Pew is hitting on a woman at a bar. He's the bartender in the new Space Jam 2 sequel. And he like, you know, he's a little bit aggressive with her and she smacks him off the stool and dumps water on him. And, you know, like LeBron James asked what happened and he said what happened. He's like, yeah, you know, he's like, you can't touch women. And it could have been a nice moment for women empowerment and like letting men know they shouldn't put their hands on women. What it turned into was another thing for cancel culture to get their hands on. You know, like I'm a millennial. I listen, I resonate more with Generation X, but this Gen Z, the crybaby generation, really needs to knock it off with this cancel culture crap. And for that, this week's...
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
I don't have much for the end of the show. Cottrell, do you have anything?
Surprisingly, no. I got nothing.
All right, because I really wanted to leave the end of the show for my man Bill. He has... I wish I could even say it, but obviously he's a lot closer to the situation. Bill?
So real quick, players this weekend, golf. John Rahm or Xander Schauffele to win. Long shots for me are Finau or Spieth. I actually think one of the two of them are going to win. It would be the feel-good story, and that happens there a lot. Pennzoil 400 Las Vegas this weekend. I got Harvick or Keselowski to win. Bush and Austin Dillon as long shots. I'm going to close the show. We wanted to do it last week. We just ran out of time. We went long, and we just forgot. I have to congratulate my sister and her husband, Travis. Last Friday, they finally had their baby boy, Jonathan David Wiley. He's healthy and safe, doing good, eating a ton of food. So I just wanted to congratulate them on becoming parents. They've both been doing a great job with a newborn for being first-time parents. Just want to give him a shout out. He is now officially our youngest Wire2Wire fan. He watched the show last week. I don't know. I think he's sleeping right now though. So, I just want to congratulate them, tell them both I love them, and very excited to watch them grow up with their baby boy. So,
yeah, and I think anybody that's met Travis and Katie knows how awesome the parents are going to be and how loyal and good people they are, and you know they've been great listeners to the show and. I appreciate everything they've done, and I wanted just to add on to how awesome and how happy I am for them. So congratulations to you guys out there. For that, we are signing out from Wire2Wire. Check us out next week. Download us on all platforms. Thank you very much. Have a good one.